Now we're going to do a new hue saturation layer. Hetty's little face is really, really red. I mean, I know she's naturally pale and redheaded, so she gets red. So we're going to take care of this pinkishness and some of the shadows in her face with a new hue saturation layer. So up here on our adjustment layer, we're going to hit this box, and then we're going to choose the hue saturation layer. Right here is the hue saturation layer. Another place that you can do this is down here on the white and black circle. You can choose hue saturation layer there. Either way works. So we're going to click on it. We have a new hue saturation layer. Now, if we adjust any of this forward or back, we're adjusting color of the entire image, all the colors. But we just want to affect the reds, and since there's no reds anywhere else in the image, it'll be alright. So I'm going to click this drop down box where it says master and choose the reds. And then to get more specific, I'm going to pick this very first eyedropper and then click on the area right below her cheek where it's so red. Now comes the magic. See the lightness bar here? We're going to lighten the reds in her face. So we're just going to push this lightness bar until it looks good. Okay, it's a little too much, I think, so I'm going to back off a little. And that looks good. It's not taking the color out of her face. It's just lightening the reds so they're not quite so vivid. So this is what it looks like without. This is what it looks like with. Now we actually have two options on her flower, because we also lightened her flower when we lightened her hair. We can leave it lighter, or we can mask it out just like we did in the other picture, just like we did the background. So if we want to lighten her flower, we're going to click on the layer mask. I'm sorry, not lighten her flower, make her flower stand out again. We're going to click on the layer mask, select our paintbrush, make sure we have black as our forecolor, adjust the opacity to whatever we want it to be, and then let's make this brush smaller. And then I'm just going to gently brush over her flower to make it darker again. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a levels layer to adjust some reds. I know it's funny, we just took reds out, now but we want to add sort of a little pink hue to the entire thing. So we're going to choose the levels layer, and you'll see the levels has three sections. These are the absolute blacks, these are the absolute whites, and these are the midtones. Now if I pull the blacks in, I make everything that's dark darker. Okay? If I pull the whites in, I make everything that's white whiter. If I move the midtones one way or the other, I'm lightening or darkening the midtones. Okay? Now, if you leave it on RGB, it affects the entire picture in all colors, but you can also select different channels of color. And so I'm going to choose the reds. And basically, I'm just going to bump this midtone up just a hair, just to get a little pink tone. So this is what it looked like originally, and here's with our very slight pink tone over it. And then last but not least, I want to warm it up. And this is the step I think I overdid. We're going to add a photo filter, a warming photo filter. So we're going to click on, where is it at? Right here. This photo filter. And you can select different options, but I chose to pick warming filter 85. And then I adjusted the density to 41, which is obviously way too yellow. So then I adjusted the opacity down to about 83. Now, like I said, this is a step that I think I overdid on the sample I showed to start with. So what I really want to do is back this off some more so it's not quite so warm. And I think we're going to adjust that to about 68 and adjust this to about 35. Back it off just a little, just a hair. Okay, so that was our second step. I know it actually seemed like it was a third step, but it was our second step. Here's where we started originally. Here we are at this point. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I want to get rid of all these layers so I just have one picture. So I'm going to flatten this. To flatten it, we're going to go up to Layer, and then all the way down at the bottom it says Flatten Image. It's going to take it a second. Hit the Genin. Okay, so now you can see over here in our layers we only have one layer, just this image. Now, this is the very last step we're going to do.